Assalamu alaikum, welcome to English News on RTD. The title: President, the head of state, receive a higher representative of the Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. And Tachura, several personalities participated in the funeral of the late Sultan Abdul Qadir Muhammad. And the international news, United Kingdom, European Union, new 10-point price agreement, the last chance agreement. That was the headlines, and welcome to the national news. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Anglais, has received today the High Representative of the Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy and Vice President of the Commission, Mrs. Federica Mogherini. Discussions focus on the political dynamic in the Horn of Africa, recent issues and regional economic integration, but also on the profound changes taking place in this part of Africa. President Gille and Mrs. Mogherini exchanged a view on this new situation, which offers opportunity to accelerate economic integration and strengthen regional cooperation among all countries in the Horn of Africa. President Gille and the High Representative agreed that to achieve this, it is important that this process be inclusive and that the participation on all the countries is essential to ensure long-term success. The impact of dynamic around the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden stability in the Horn of Africa was also on the agenda. The challenges faced the region requires greater solidarity. The President, Mrs. Mogherini, stressed that there was each one interest in promotion collaborative and inclusive approaches to promote trade, economic development and stability in the region. In addition to the head of diplomacy, the Minister of Agriculture, Mohammed Hamid Awale, the Ambassador of Jordan, Bilgam Omar Ziyad, the Director of Department Multilateral Foreign Affairs Relations, Gile Durism Omar Gile, and the Secretary General of the Presidency, Mohammed Abdullahi Wais, took part in this meeting. In a statement to the press following her audience with President Gille, the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy welcomed the privileged links between her organization and our country. Djibouti is a strategic partner of the European Union, she said in a substance. In a speech to the Minister of International Affairs and Cooperation, Mr. Mohamed Ali Yusuf, on this occasion, he noted that the visit of the European Union High Representative, Mrs. Federica, is a historic visit to Djibouti. The funeral ceremony of the late Sultan Abdul Qadir Muhammad, who died on Friday, 17 May 2019, took place on Wednesday in his hometown of Tachura. He appreciated by plane the remains of the deceased Sultan were flown to Tachura by military helicopter. All members of the government, headed by Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamal Mohammed and ministerial delegation from the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, and particularly the Afar region, were mobilized to receive the remains in the port of Tachura, where the plane landed. The funeral procession then left the landing tarmac to head of the Great Mosque of the White City, known as the Saudi Mosque. A prayer sit or several hundred people from the capital all over the country, Tachura and neighboring countries, have invested in collective funeral prayer. It was thus a human tide that swept across the main artery of the White City and secondary road to flow together and coverage on the Great Mosque. After the prayer and the reading the Fatiha by the Imam, the relative of the deceased and hundreds of the faithful accompanied to body to cemetery, where Abdul Qadir Muhammad went to his final resting place.
الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الآن صرت بين أطباق الثرى وبين عساكر الموتى، على ذلك خلقت وعلى ذلك مت وعلى ذلك تبعث إن شاء الله من الآمنين. ثبتك الله، ثبتك الله بالقول الثابت، ثبتك الله بالقول الثابت، ثبتك الله بالقول الثابت. يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
The Sultanate of Tachura is one of the oldest institutions in Africa. The Sultan was founded in the 14th century. In 1415, Asa Kamil will thus have been the first Sultan to rely on dynasty that all the Adalise power has since alternated between dignity and pronatos. The Sultan is then called Dadar and his vizier Payota. This decision will very quickly take on its full scope with the institutionalization of conflict resolution through the Anglais, which has always been the central place of political, institutional, and social power, where Makaban and Malek deliberated on everything in the city. The Dabar remained the supreme moral authority because they draw his power from his royal dame, the Dinkara. It is symbol of peace and only interest in case of extreme urgency in current affairs. Born in 1937 in Tachura, son of Sultan Muhammad and grandson of Sultan Muhammad, he was born to take up this position from the time of his birth. In the meantime, he was recruited in 1961 as administrator at the governance place, but his father will die a year later, and the young Abdulkadir naturally called upon to succeed him as a vizier of Sultan Habib, a position he will hold a little over 20 years. In September 1983, Sultan Habib died as traditional as it a 2-year period must be observed, a period to mourn the deceased Sultan. Finally, it was on April 8, 1985 that the late Abdulkadir Muhammad was enthroned as Sultan of Tachura. According to the tradition, the interment of the new Sultan of Tachura began with the slaughter of a bull whose skin is then used to make the dekara or drum that embodies the screenness of the Sultan's power. It was this time then that was proceeded as soon as they died later. After the death of Sultan of Tachura, the late Abdulkadir Muhammad, the Egyptian ambassador in Ethiopia, sent the DPC and the condolence to the families of deceased. On Monday, May 20, 2019, the National Assembly organized a consultation meeting on World Bank Group's partnership framework under the leadership of the Speaker of the National Assembly. This meeting was attended by elected officials, dedicated and loyal partner, consultant parliamentarian administrator. The partnership framework is an instrument of World Bank to accompany Djibouti. The framework guides World Bank action in implementing goals of Djibouti Vision 2035 and the country's public investment program. In line with the roadmaps and action plan, it will accelerate structural transformation, drinking water, incinerator, energy, telecommunication, roads, airport, port, habitat and environment, economic transition and creation. Pro-consultations are held on the CPF in the governance and citizen engagement dialogue across the country and with the public, private sector, civil society, youth and women partners. Many African countries such as Morocco and Burkina Faso have engaged in the CPF to modernize their economic fabric and make a successful transition. On financial side, the CPF included the World Bank's funding program in Djibouti, bilateral grant and constitutional credit. The CPF will also be an excellent tool for promoting human capital, poverty, alleviated capacity building of public institutions and community investment in basic service essential for communities. Djibouti made excellent relationship with the different organizations, including World Bank. On the instruction of the public prosecutor and flow information, analyzed the OPG of the investigation brigade and judicial delegation proceeded to the arrest of individuals suspected of smuggling alcohol. Several apparent Paul and of this Pure were assessed by the investigators. Of Chinese origin, the individual himself made a Pure with a view to selling it to a competitor working on the same site as him. The Pure was distilled in room ABK23. The suspect in his fights was using material imported from China in the year 2017 to make this liquor. During his hearing, they acknowledged that the drinks were intended for this friend and that he had no intention of selling his goods outside their base. He also stated that he used local products such as wheat and sorghum and sugar available on the market for the production of this beer. The drinks were intended for the exclusive use of Chinese employees of the base during the holiday. Adulate alcohol, this have been brought to justice. On May 19, 2019, 11:30 a.m., local shopkeeper seized the gendarmerie of the BK12 North Brigade to report the robbery of his electronic store. He stated that 10 flat screen television and 6 audio players with a sound system were removed from the store. Immediately, the investigator from the BK12 North Brigade went to a scene to find out the victim. The modus operandi used by the brigade immediately put the gendarme on the trail of a vendor already known to the gendarmerie judicial service. It was confirmed by technical finding. On the same day, the alleged perpetrator was arrested. During his hearing, he explained that he had acted in concern with 3 other actors, including 2 Ethiopian nations and 1 other Jewish nation. On 20 May 2019, 6 a.m., gendarmerie arrested the second author on his home and immobilized the vehicle used for the robbery. The brigade will be brought to justice to be held accountable. And now moving on to the international news, British Prime Minister have been appealing the pressure on the Prime Minister Theresa May turning into her medical political deal. May say on Tuesday that the Prime Minister approved the European Union divorce deal. They have to confirm it referendum. Other chances to be Brexit agreement include a legal obligation to find alternative to Irish backstop by December 2020. No chance to environmental protection to UK enjoy as a member of the European Union and no legislation to protect workers, but it has not convinced the Prime Minister if today's session is anything to go by. That's it for tonight's news. Thanks for watching and have a good night.